Alright, we're back. We are now officially 67 nautical miles away from top descent. Right, so now we're going to do the arrival planning. First thing before we do anything else is make sure the route's good. I can see we haven't done the arrival, so YSSY, we're going to do runway 16 right, we're going to do the Boeing 2 Alpha arrival. You go bang bang, done. ILS done. So now we'll chuck that back to progress, we'll chuck that back to legs, and then we'll just go through it. Then I clear the vector. There's going to be no vectors on the route. If you haven't got the ATC, well, you may as well let the computer deal with it. By the looks of it, that's fine. Next thing I'll do is I'll set that, because we're not, again we don't have ATC, we're going to set that to the localizer altitude, which is going to be 3,000. Yeah, Erden, 3,000. So Erden's the localizer for this approach. So I'm just going to set this for 3,000. You add a top descent, this will descend itself. Just got to remember that, this will descend itself. Next thing I will do is now I'll go back to Navigraph. Now, if I have a look at my checklist, which is in here, you will see that there is the descent checklist, which is pressurization, recall, auto brake, all that sort of stuff. It will also give you approach briefing, which is the last thing. So the approach briefing, we hit Boree. Boree doesn't really have an altitude. Speed max 250 knot below 10,000. You've always got to do that. That's just the way it is. Back lowered at above 8,000. Barrow below 9,000. That's the way the star works. So you'll be above 8,000 at backlow, so you'll be 8.5, but you'll always be below 9,000 at Barrow. That's the way that the star works. So you'll be fine because you'll be above 8,000 for that, but as long as you're 8.5 when you hit that, and maybe even 8,000 when you hit that. Doesn't really matter. Then you got ovals, and then gentle. Ovals, gentle, and then you'll go onto the approach, which is runway 16 right. So runway 16 right, which is the main runway. You'll hit Erden, Ingala. So Erden, you've got to be at 3,000. So we're flying at flight level 360. You'll hit top descent in 67 miles, or whatever it is. So first we'll chuck the final approach course in, and that'll be on every single heading. So it's 155. So 155 here, and then 155 on the core, on both courses. And this is the only, so I'm going to show you something in a second. It's the only aircraft that I've got to do this for, apart from maybe the 74. So yeah, 155, 155, 3,000 checked. I'm going to hit that, that's alright. Next thing I'm going to do is get the frequency, the ILS frequency, which is 109.5. I'm going to add that in here, no frequency. In the 73, this is extremely important. 109.5, press that, make it accurate. Then up here on the nav display, I've put it in 109.5, 155. It pretty much knows that the ILS for runway 16 right. I'm going to move the nav display down a little bit. So there you go. I usually like to get that one notch below, first officer's one notch below the captain's. Next. We go back into here and we go and get the decision altitude, which is 210 feet for this runway. So it's Barrow, it's 210. You can do this for both of them, but this one's actually done for both of them, so that's fine. That's good. See at the top of the descent point. So the plane's going to automatically descend for you at the top of the descent point. At the top of the descent point, you don't really have to worry about it very much. And then pretty much just monitoring the altitude and the triangle that comes up here. So you'll see that. Apart from that, that's pretty much the arrival you need to do right now. So descent checklist, apart from auto brake, which for us, very long runway, we only need, you always check on the auto brake. I personally always chuck in an auto brake. That's the way it is. I'll chuck an auto brake one. You don't have to chuck in an auto brake for this long of a runway, but I like to chuck in an auto brake because it gives me less to do on arrival with controlling the aircraft. So auto brake set, recall, well recall nothing at the moment anyway, pressurization's fine. I'm just going to do VREF. Now I can do the VREF from here actually, but the VREF will probably change. So remember, the VREF will probably change, and when you're on the progress, you just hit init ref and it takes you back to that. You get 23 nautical miles, you can do the progress now. I'm going to do, so you got flaps 15, flaps 30, flaps 4, to give you VREF speeds for those settings. I'm going to do flaps 30, it's a long enough runway, it's 12,999 feet, or nearly 4K. It's one of the only runways in the world where you can land. There is one of the runways that you can land a space shuttle on if you have to. Interesting fact. So yeah, 30 at 147, now that's set, and that says it right there, your reference speed. For the flaps 30, your speed is 147, but then you'll need to be approach. That's your reference speed, that's your reference speed. Your V approach is plus 5 of that, so 147, so it's 152 is your V approach speed, and that's what you set for the arrival, but we'll get into that later. So that's 1 minute. So that's set, I'm going to go back to progress until we get top descent, and then I'll lock it on the approach stage for the rest of this, for the rest of the arrival. And then that's it, that's your descent checklist complete. Next thing is your approach checklist, which is just your altimeter, which I can actually preset. In this aircraft, this is one of the aircraft that you can preset it. YSSY, it's 1012, so I can preset it 1012. That's it's preset, it's not active, but if it's in white, it's preset. Then all you have to do is hit the standard button and it sets it. We'll show you that later on. Everything down to there. But wind 310 at 5 knots, which is usually means we're going to do a 34 left, but for training purposes we're going to do a tailwind approach, which is harder, but controlling the aircraft isn't the name of the game for this one. It's actually showing you how to do the approach. So that's the whole point why I'm doing it straight in instead of going out and around and then doing 34 over the water. Is the way it is, but for training purposes this is the way I'm going to do it. And now pretty much not much to do. Pretty much we've done the descent part of it, 6 nautical miles before top descent. We hit top descent, and then and then there's not much to do. It's just pretty much you sit and monitor for a while until you got to that point where you do have to do something. And then when you do hit that point, then it's pretty much everything's really, really quick. Everything happens very, very quickly. Set this down to 40. I keep down 40. I can't bother moving it back to 20 nautical miles just yet. Also, there's not really a need to. But the top descent point is before Medham. But so, because Boree, you hit at 10,000. You hit at 10,000, so that's the start of the standard terminal arrival for Sydney, one of the standard terminal arrivals, but for this part of it, and we've just hit retard, meaning the engines are rolling back to idle, and we start our descent. We hit the top descent point, and now the VNAV's taking control, and we're now descending. You don't be afraid if the speed either gets away from you, or the altitude gets away from you, to add there's speed breakers required. But at the moment I don't need to, so that's fine. So the same. Again, now it's just monitoring. Just monitoring your altitude, monitoring your speed. Making sure both of them don't get out of control. Making sure your altitude's level with the pink triangle, making sure your speed's pretty much level where you want it on the MCP. You'll learn, I think, because what I've been told is the Zebo has a bug at the moment, so it's not holding out, so it's not following VNAV path, speed or altitude. So it needs to, so it's taking a lot of power control. That's something they're fixing. Well, the PMDG, even though it's representing very well how slippery the 737 is, it's still holding on. The 737-800 is a very slippery aircraft. What I mean by that is it doesn't hold VNAV path very well. When you put it onto descent, it either doesn't descend enough to keep the speed the same, or it descends too much and the speed just skyrockets. Or it descends at the rate and the speed just skyrockets. It's a very slippery aircraft. The speed brake's getting a lot of use in the 737. You'll learn. But at the same time, it's a good aircraft. I like the 737-800. The amount of hours I put into the 737-800, I better know how this thing works. So now, as I said, we're just pretty much just passengers for a bit now. We're just monitoring all the instruments, we're monitoring everything's going good. And everything is going fine, the VNAV's fine. It doesn't matter the speed below the thing, but if it starts creeping above, then you've got to just go and drag, which is the speed brakes. Just flaps on top of the wing. So the speed brakes, and what that does is it adds drag. It adds drag, and what it does is it increases the descent rate and slows the aircraft. It can do both at the same time, you know. It can slow the aircraft down and increase the descent rate. But it's used for both of them, so you can use it either to increase the descent rate to catch back up to what altitude you need to be at if you're too high, but you can also use it if you're too fast to slow that down. At the moment, perfect. It's running like a dream, descending at a very nice 2100 feet a minute, but the speed's not getting away from it. So at the moment we're really going really well. And as I said, at the moment again, we're really just doing nothing. We're really just sitting here, passengers, until we start the approach, and then it's on like on. I'll show you what I like to do. It's not conventional, by the way. When we get to it, I'll show you what I do. It's not really conventional, but it's the way I like to just get the speed down enough. So at some point, which will be maybe 5 or 7 nautical miles away from the top descent, I'll get the speed into VNAV, which is that button right there. Whenever I feel it's necessary to slow down to flaps 1 speed, or flap, which would be about, I'd usually slow down to about 210 knots. When I feel it's necessary, and I'll tell you when it's necessary, I'll get that button slowed down to 210. I'll take the control of the speed of the aircraft away from the VNAV. Of course, the auto throttle's still got it, but I'm telling it to slow down more than what the flight management computer's telling it to slow down to. It's just the way I like to do it, so that the speed doesn't get away from you on fire. Bit more trickier in the Airbus, but you can do it in the Airbus. But yeah, that's just what I like to do. Especially with no ATC. ATC will give you directions on speed, what speed you need to be at certain points. So yeah. We're passing 25.1. So usually I'll hit the seatbelt signs about maybe 18,000 or something around that area. Just get the passengers strapped in about that point. Australian Airlines, you'll find, turn their seatbelt signs on very, very late. A lot later than most other airlines. I've never been on a European airline, but the American airlines are very, very happy to leave those seatbelt signs on for most of the flight. Even if it's not that long. But Europe, I think, is about the same as this. So I can turn them off pretty early and put them back on as late as I can. America, I like to leave them on a lot. 4K, 2.4 nautical miles for 4K. The best thing about this approach to learn is straight in. You've got no turns. It's a very much just straight in approach. So you can get your bearings on what altitude you need to be where. So 4K, I mean the plane's doing itself. So 4K, they wanted you to be at 227, we're 227, we'd be cool. right on cue with it. Exactly where we need to be. As I say, the plane will do most of it itself. I don't really need to do a lot. Yeah, I really don't need to at the moment. I'm just monitoring it, making sure the plane doesn't get away from me. I'm a little bit quiet. I told you, I really don't have a lot to say right now until we get onto that final bit of the approach. There's not a lot to say or do. The aircraft is doing it itself. So you can see it's doing quite a good job. The speed's starting to creep, but it's not up to that sort of dangerous sort of respect yet. If I do, just slam some more, send some speed braking to it. I'll tell you when to drop the gear off, and dropping flats is pretty simple. It's just whenever you well, it says it on the MCP. On the speed tape, it says when you can start adding more flats. So it's not very tricky. You can pretty much get away with it. Yeah. So now we're hitting a bit of a point where we're just about to hit Boeing. We're starting to get a little bit high in the speed, so I'm just going to set the auto brake a little bit and start to slow the aircraft down. Make sure we just slow that aircraft, just slow the descent down slowly. So you can set the standard early, so pretty much you can set the standard pressure and take standard pressure off once you get clearance to go above the transition attitude or below the transition attitude. I'll turn the standard pressure off anyway. In Australia it's 110, but mostly it's 10,000. So hit 114. So we're descending through that, all good. Speed brakes back off, turn the speed brakes back out again. Down to 700, so I actually haven't turned the seatbelts on. You can wait till 10,000 to turn the seatbelts on, then I'll turn the landing lights on as well. Good, so the approach checklist is now complete, so I've set the Q&H. The altimeter, and just double checking, yep, the altimeter is still 1012. So landing checklist saying that I've got to turn then to continuous, which I've now done. Inside continuous, speed brake is armed. I'm not going to hold armed yet because when I do want to slow the aircraft down, I may need to add some speed brake to get it down faster. Bore is looking fine, we're looking alright there. Vero, we're at 10,000 feet. Becklow is below 8,000, Vero is above, no. Becklow is above 8,000, Vero is below 9,000. So, yeah. As long as you earn them by 3,000, you're fine. On the approach. Which is what we seem to be at the moment, so we're alright. The aircraft's slowing down at speed. It's now slowing at 240, which is fine. Below 10,000. So speed's good. Actually, speed's sort of below what we want, but that's okay. That's fine. So below. It says below 9,000, but we'll probably end up being something like 7,000 when we get it. So that is something. That 9,000 below, that's just an advisory. This is a must. You've got to be above 8,000. And now that below 10,000, we've got to stay below 250 knots. But back low at 8,000 above, yeah, that's a must be. Alright, we're already below 9,000, so the plane will just keep dropping. That's not a problem at all. Now I'm just double checking that everything's set, and everything seems to be set to me. Auto brakes are good. Everything's good to me so far. Not much I've got to do so far. The first speed brake setting, the first flap setting, which is up, is at 210 knots. So that's when I'll set my first degree of flap, and you'll see that as I bring the flaps down. So now I'm at 8,000. Sweet, that's not a problem at all. At the moment, we're descending without any issues. The reference speed set 3147, 109. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the approach. And there it is. Yeah, the approach, even though it hasn't gone green, it's set. As you can see on the CP, FAC, glide path. It's the same as, it's weird how it does it in this, but it's the same as ILS glide slope. It's the same. Like, yeah, pretty much it is the same thing. That's probably a stutter because it's just loaded up the Sydney scenery. The FAC is the same thing as localizer, LOC, and glide path is the same thing as glide slope, GS, G-S. It's 7,000, so now retarding back to speed. I'm going to set the speed brake. The speed brake. We're still far enough out though, aren't we? We're still 27 nautical miles to run. So, with 27 miles to run, I'm just going to keep it as is for now. I'm not going to start getting more until about 15 to get a bit slowed down and start getting flats out. 27, we're fine. So I've hit approach pretty early. Once I know that I'm on a setting where I can hit the localizer pretty quick, and already, as you can see, that's the glide slope. That little triangle there is the glide slope. So we're already below the glide slope. So that's fine. It's fine. 27 nautical miles out. Probably we're a little bit low, but it's following the V-nav path, so it's fine. It's absolutely no problems. The speed's starting to creep up a little bit. At the moment, it's not a problem because we are quite low. You can gain the speed back. But I would be at Erden, I wouldn't be any faster than 210 personally. I wouldn't be any faster than 210 knots. Like Erden you're at 185 anyway, so at the moment I can leave this IAS map on VNAV. The aircraft's got it. I know the aircraft's got it. I've already hit the approach button, so it's already set up the approach. All I've got to do is watch the aircraft and make sure that it's still doing its job. Bring it down, now it's 10 nautical. Now it's only showing 10 nautical outside the aircraft, and I'm going to set the first officer's one to show 5 nautical. What I'm going to do now, so ovals will then turn you onto the approach. At the moment, we're fine. The decel point is when the aircraft will immediately decel the aircraft back to, well, here it'll be 185. It'll be whatever the next run says on the localizer, on the FMC point. So it's before ovals actually, so we'll set you down to, but yeah, that's when it will just cut the power and just send you back down. At the moment it's fine. 39,000, we're within 1,000 feet of the approach. Now we're absolutely fine. We are good as gold at the moment. The aircraft is doing its job. Just about hit the decel point. The aircraft is only going to slow to about 230 knots. We have, according to this, we have 15 nautical miles to run. This is when I'm actually going to chuck the speed into VN. I'm going to hit it 210 knots myself now. Just so I can start getting flats out before we hit the localizer point. I've already set the spoilers, so that's fine. All I've got to do is drop the flaps into the landing gear. That's all I've got to do now to get the landing set up. Landing gear and flaps, that's all I've got to do now. I've hit the localizer. FAC, I've hit the localizer. I'm now getting turned on the localizer. I've actually got visual. I can see the runway. See the runway, the glide path is right there. That white that white diamond there is the glide path, or glide slope. So it'll drop as we drop in set. MCP. There's your flaps 1. We've hit Erden. Now it's time to slow the aircraft down rapidly. I'll slow it down to 160. 160, we are 10 miles out. 10 miles is the earliest point you should be blowing the gear, but I'm now lowering the gear. 10 miles you should be starting to think about lowering the gear. Landing gear is now getting lowered. The speed's now 160. For me now, I'd slow the aircraft all the way. All the way, slowing the aircraft means you're just going to have one more look at the init rep, which is now 146, so let's change that. So now it's 151. Your final approach speed is V rep plus 5, so it's 3146, so it's 30 at 151. Flaps 2, I've hit flaps 1, so I'll hit flaps 2. And because I know it's not really going to cause an issue, I'll hit flaps 5. I'm not going to take gear out until I've hit that point. Until I've hit a point where I'm quite happy with the stability of the aircraft. Flaps 10. Then flaps 15. Now the aircraft needs to start to slow. If not, then I'm going to have some issues. I'm not going to take the gear, now I'm going to take flaps 25 and flaps 30. That's it. Now I've taken all the flaps. So flaps should be at flaps 30, not flaps 40. That's fine. Flap setting is down. Now I'm stable on the approach. 1400 feet to go. So now when I'm going to take manual control. I've got manual control of the aircraft now. Got the runway in sight, I have manual control. Now checked. That's when you've got to be stable on the approach. You don't need all your flaps to be down, but you need to be stable. You need to be right height and a relatively good speed. You don't need to be full. If you're too far off, that's the point when you've got to go around. Just like the minimums point is the point where if you can't see the runway, you have to abort. I'm very slow at the moment, so now I've got to pitch the nose up and add some power. This is the only aircraft where you've actually got to manually input the speed. Okay, this isn't one of the best approaches I've ever made, but you've manually got to input the speed. I'm on the glide slope, it feels very, very low. Also the FPS isn't great, but that's probably because I'm recording. But at the moment,
approaching minimums.
We're on a good approach.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Throttles to idle, not too much on the flare, and we're down. Then you'll say, speed brakes up, reverse is normal. Which they are, because reverse is green, you're starting to get reverse into it. 8 knots, you'll go manual braking, so you'll hit your pedals, and you'll take manual brakes. And then 60 knots, you'll take the reverses out. And that's it. We're on the ground. And then you'll try and use the foot brake to slow the aircraft down as much as you can. As I say, it's probably not the best arrival I've ever done, but at the end of the day, it's not a bad one. So we'll turn off here. Once you leave the runway, you can turn the landing lights off, you can turn the taxi lights on, you can turn the APU on. The APU has to be started at that point, so it's ready to go once you get on back. And we're going to leave the strobe light on because we've still got to cross the runway. We'll leave the strobe light on to cross the last runway. After landing checklist is you put all your flaps up. You've got to do your speed brake yourself. You're going to do your auto brake, your flight directors have to come out, and then I would also take weather radar and traffic out, and terrain and traffic out. And then you come down here and you can also now take out the transponder. And then that's pretty much it for the after landing checklist. And then you just go GSX and we're gate Delta, and we'll go to Delta 6 today. We'll go to gate 6 over at domestic, and then we'll hit Qantas as the choice of ground handler that we want. And then that's it. Pretty much it. Now we just taxi into the terminal. And that is how you do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's a little bit stressful, like you can get overwhelmed, but as long as you've got it all under control on the outset, you're doing pretty well. And that's how you do that safely and without too many issues. Yes, it will take time to get it all down pat to where you're not really completely, what's the word? That you're not really completely overwhelmed with the amount of stuff you have to do on the approach, but you'll be alright. You'll get used to it. We'll get used to it. So now we're taxiing in. So now I'll tell you. So I've told you sort of why we keep the strobe lights on for the taxi in. So we're just about to cross with the cross runway here in Sydney. You've got two parallels and then you've got a cross runway, which is 0725. And we're going to cross 0725 very shortly. We'll cross that, and once we cross that runway, we can jam the strobe lights off. You've got it. Anytime you cross a runway, you've got to turn your strobe lights on. It's just a requirement. VORs can go off now as well. You don't need them on. So far so good. We're done. That is how you do that, pretty much. That's how you land the aircraft in Sydney. Not my best approach ever, in all fairness. I did sort of wait a little bit long to do a couple of things. The speed was struggling to get down. That's pretty much how I say how slippery the aircraft is. I probably should have taken flaps a little bit earlier. I would have taken my first set of flaps at Erden. I took them a little bit later than Erden. But the gear down, usually it will start wiping speed off. That time it really didn't. We are now past the runway, so we can now turn the strobe lights off. And we're going to go to gate Delta 6. I'm just going to stay on this taxi range and then hit domestic terminal. So this is Fly Tampa Sydney. Still a great scenery, this one. Still just unbelievable. I don't know what I can really say about the scenery. It's just one of the best sceneries in the sim. I think I've flown out of here, in and out of here in the sim, God knows how many times. Probably, it's in the hundreds now, I would say. So yeah, I know this place like the back of my hand, and it's a great place to fly to. Like, the scenery with some elements, with some like ultra realism, like geeky elements, like these jet bridges and the way that parking does work for GSX a little bit isn't great. But yeah. But I'm hoping they do a little bit of an update with Sydney, which they haven't done yet, but I'm hoping they do a little bit of an update where they do add side. If you can add side, that's great. Well, here there's quite a few gates that don't have the jet bridges there, but they don't work. So I'm hoping Flight Tampa do fix that. But yeah, that's good. Something else I can do is I can get rid of the barrow. So you can just drop that to nothing. Drop that to -100. Oh, Oh no, you don't. No, it's not 7.4. 7.4 you do that. Just drop that to there. You just hit the RST and that gets rid of that for you. You don't need to really do anything with that. That's fine with the nav frequency. That's absolutely fine. But it's a great aircraft. This aircraft is a lot better than the old NGX to do an approach on. It's such a fast aircraft. You can see how quick it is when you land. It's such a good, fun aircraft to do an approach with. And I love it. Actually, it's a great aircraft. Actually. So our taxi into Delta, which will be not this next right, then the right after that, and then we'll taxi in. We'll go to Delta 6, where all the boys are waiting to unload the aircraft. Also, when you turn off the runway, remember to hit the chrono again to make sure it stops the time. So an hour 17 is probably an hour 12 really there. So that's the time that lapses that's in air time. The other clock is doing your gate-to-gate time. So it was about, I'd say it was probably about hour 12 is the actual flight time. Now, just as you just approach the bay, now that you get onto this street, you can turn the taxi light off. But you don't want to blind the poor guys as you come in, even though it's using the safe gate. You know that Sydney uses the safe gate system. And here we go. It feels like we're back home again. It really does. It's quite nice. And that's all you've got to do for the interim. Do the safe gate, and then you hit Delta 6, and then we turn in. This is the third gate. All the equipment's waiting for us. It's quite stormy outside actually. And now we're just coming in onto the approach. I can see the Boeing 737 line here. Usually I'd use the safe gate, but this one, the safe gate's not too short. So I'm just going to go to the 737 line. And there you go. Hit the order, hit that. And then you hit the APU generators. And then you take the engines out. Then you hit the clock to stop it. Hour 32 from gate to gate, that's good. And then as the engine's shut down, you just take the fuel pumps out, you can take the seatbelt signs off, you can take the two center things out, then we can use the jet bridge, and then we can take out the anti-collision light. Shutdown checklist is all good. Yeah, we've done the shutdown checklist. Because we did most of it on the taxi in, so it's got to do with your, and now we can hit deboarding, and that's it, we're done. That's it, we're done. We can stop the flight in Q virtual, landing it at 202, so that's fine, follow the pirate. And that's done. Good, so that side of things is done. So your shutdown checklist is your fuel pumps, your hydraulic panel, which is just two electric pumps, your flaps, making sure they're up, but you do that right after landing. Now I'm going to go into the menu. One more thing you got to do is you're going to hit the ground, you're going to set your chocks, and then you've got to set your ground power. And then you hit flaps, your park brake, engine start levers, which are cut off, and then your weather radar, which is off. You turn that off on the way in, so you're not blasting with radar, with radiation as you come into the gate. Ground power is now on, so we can set the ground power. And then we can turn off the APU. Now everyone's ready to get offloaded. They're waiting for the doors, so I can now open the doors. And there they go, they can unload the aircraft. You know, the jet bridge still has not gone into, still not actually docked yet, because the jet bridge is being weird. But it is a little bit of a weird scenery. But that's it. That is how you do a flight in 737-800. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learnt something. It's a great aircraft to fly. I hope you have fun flying it, pretty much. So, yeah, you'll learn a lot about flying in this aircraft, and I hope I've taught you something about how to fly this aircraft. Just to say, it's great. Alright, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll catch you later.